Hey guys, this is Michael, Hillsboro Barbell. Today I wanted to compare the A7 SBD belt side by side. I've been using the A7 now for, I want to say a couple weeks, and my SBD, I've had this for a few years now, but one thing that I can kind of say just right off the bat, so if you match them side by side, these are both smalls, by the way. The A7 is about, I would say, about that much longer, about 3 inches longer than the SBD. So I got, when I was on the website and I was measuring them or looking at the sizes, I did get a medium A7 and it was too big for me. So I had to return it and get a small, and even then the small is still bigger than the small SBD. When I first got my SBD, I want to say it was more broken in, or it was a little bit more flexible, or just easier to wear from, out of the box, where the A7 was really stiff. It took a while to kind of break in, I guess you could say. I mean, now it's a little bit more flexible, but one thing that I really kind of didn't like about it was this right here. You can see that it's a little thicker here. It's probably like 13, and then it comes down to probably 10 towards the end. So what ends up happening is that when you have it on in your core, you get this little gap. So I had to adjust my lever to kind of make it work, but yeah, because even then you have that metal piece in here and it still doesn't close up 100%. I mean, it doesn't feel too bad, to be honest, but it is very different from the SBD. Another thing, the lever opens to the left where SBD opens to the right, so that took some getting used to. It was kind of uncomfortable at first. It would kind of, because of this gap, it would kind of pinch my abdomen here. So I haven't experienced that in the last few days, but I want to say when I first got it, I did have a little bit of that. Another thing that I guess you could say is very different is that in terms of adjustability, once you have your adjustment here on this side dialed in, it is really nice and very adjustable. So for example, for my deadlift, I do like to have it a little bit looser. So sometimes I'll have it there, sometimes I'll have it here. And then for my squat, I'll maybe have it a little bit tighter, maybe around those two, here and here. Where in the SBD, it's way easier to adjust for big changes. If you ever had an SBD belt, you don't need to get a screwdriver and adjust it on this side. You just adjust it from this end. And so for my deadlift, I have it right about on the last one. And then for my squat, I have it like 1 or 2 more. A little bit tighter, not too crazy. But sometimes I feel with these jumps that it's almost too tight when I go from my deadlift to my squat, or as I'm gaining and cutting weight, where with the A7, it's much more adjustable. It does feel a little bit better having those smaller adjustments on the other end. So if I could, I don't know, say which one I like best, I mean, it really all depends. The adjustability wise, I think A7 is definitely the way to go, but comfortability or whatever, in terms of comfort, I think overall for most people, the SBD belt is still slightly better. They both cost roughly the same too. So really it's just up to preference. I really like my SBD belt, but I did have some trouble where when I'm cutting or losing a little bit of weight, I needed that fine tuning and adjustability. That's why I got the A7 for that same reason, because of the adjustability. So I can kind of see myself going back and forth between them, just depending on where I am in my training cycle. But yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts, and yeah, so guys, have a good one. If you have any further questions, feel free to hit us up here at Hillsboro Barbell. Talk to you later.